If you are about to open a Bank of America credit card or you just open one and feel lost, this is the only video you need. By the end, you will know how to open a card, activate it, make payments, set up Autopay, dispute charges, pull cash, add it to Apple Pay, charge your 3% cashback category, and handle every single thing the Bank of America app can do with a credit card. And I'll be straight with you the whole way. I'll tell you what to use, what to ignore, and what will cost you money if you're not careful. Credit cards are powerful when you use them right, and expensive when you don't. And Bank of America gives you a lot of tools inside the app to stay on top of your card. But if you don't know where they are, you will miss them. Use the chapters below to jump to what you need or watch straight through if you're brand new. Let's get started. I'm going to show you exactly how to open a Bank of America credit card step by step. And the first thing I want you to know before we do anything is to do this on a desktop or laptop, not your phone. The reason is simple. Bank of America runs online-only offers, and the best way to make sure you actually get them is by going through the website. Now, you have two ways to get started. You can go directly to bankofamerica.com or you can click the link I put in the description below. If you use my link, it will take you straight to the Bank of America customized cash rewards card offer page and you can apply directly from there. Either way works, but the link saves you a few clicks. If you're going through the website, once you're on the home page, you will see the main navigation bar at the top. You've got check-in, savings, credit cards, home loans, and so on. Click on credit cards. A drop-down will open. On the left side, you will see shop all credit cards. Click that. Now you're on the full credit card page. At the top, you got filter tabs, cashback, travel rewards, airline rewards, lower interest rates, and more. You can use those to narrow things down or just scroll through and see everything they offer laid out right here. Find the card you want and click Apply Now. For this video, I'm applying for the Bank of America Customized Cash Rewards card. This is honestly one of their most popular cards and for a good reason. You see, you get 6% cashback in a category of your choice for the first year, 2% back automatically at grocery stores and wholesale clubs, 1% on everything else, and a $200 online cash reward bonus after you spend $1,000 in the first 90 days. Plus, no annual fee. And here's the part I mentioned at the beginning. That $200 bonus and the 6% first year rate, those are online offers. Meaning if you walk into a branch or call them on the phone, you might not get those same terms. This is exactly why I told you to do it from the website. One extra step, potentially $200 in your pocket. Now, once you click Apply Now, you will land on a new page that shows exactly what you're applying for. The full card details, the reward breakdown, the APR, all of it. Take a minute and actually read through it. Most people scroll straight past this and then act surprised later when something doesn't work the way they expected. One thing worth noting on the APR, there's a 0% intro APR for the first 15 billing cycles on purchases and balance transfers. After that, the APR varies from 17.49 to 27.49 depending on your credit. If you are planning to carry a balance, that number matters a lot. If you are paying it in full every month, it doesn't matter at all. Once you read through everything, scroll down a little and you will see the card design picker. Right now, Bank of America is running a limited time FIFA World Cup 2026 design only available through July 31st. If you want the standard design, pick that one. It's totally up to you. It's the same card either way. Once you pick your design, click Begin Application. You will see a progress bar at the top with 4 steps: personal, contact, employment, and finish up. That's it. 4 steps and you're done. Before you start filling anything in, take one last look at the card summary at the top of the page. It shows you exactly what you're applying for, the 6% first year cashback, the $200 bonus, all of it. Make sure that's the card you want. Once you click through, you're in the application. Now scroll down. The first thing you will see is a prompt for existing Bank of America customers to log in. And if that's you, do it. Log in right here. The system will pull your information and pre-fill most of the application automatically. It is faster, it's easier, and it keeps the offer intact. There's no reason to skip it if you already bank with them. Now, if you're not an existing Bank of America customer, no problem. Just follow along below that section. You will see 2 fields, the last 4 digits of your social security number and your mobile phone number. Enter both of those and click Next. A consent screen will pop up for phone verification. Bank of America uses your phone number to run a quick identity check. It's a fraud prevention step, totally standard. Check the box that says you consent and click Continue. Next, it will ask you how you want to receive your verification code. Text message or phone call, but between me and you, text is faster. Pick whichever works for you and hit send code. Enter the code when it comes through, and that's your identity verified. Now the real application starts. Once your identity is verified, you will land on the personal step of the application. If you're not an existing customer, you will fill this in yourself. Full legal name, date of birth, and full social security number. Same rules as always when you do applications. Make sure everything matches your government ID exactly. No nicknames, no shortcuts, and if your ID says something, that's what's going on in this field. Any mismatch can slow down or complicate your application. When ready, click Next. The following screen asks a few identification questions: USA citizenship, dual citizenship, country of residence. These are standard questions every financial institution is legally required to ask. Just answer them honestly and click Next. Now you're on the contact step. Bank of America needs your email address so they can reach you about the application and your account once it opens. Enter it, confirm it, and click Next. That's the whole step. Now this next part is where I want you to slow down, because this is where most people rush through and it actually matters. You're in the employment step, and Bank of America is going to ask you three things: your employment status, your primary source of income, and your total gross annual income. The one that trips people up is total gross annual income. This is not your take-home pay. It's not what hits your bank account after taxes. It's your income before anything is taken out: salary, wages, overtime, bonuses, interest, dividends, rental income, retirement benefits. All of it counts. If you're not sure what number to put, think about what you earn in a year before taxes, and that's your number. They also ask for your monthly rent or mortgage payment. This helps them assess your ability to repay. Just enter whatever you actually pay each month, and be accurate here. The income you report affects the credit limit they offer you. Underreport it, and you might get a lower limit than you deserve. Overreport it, and you are misrepresenting yourself on a financial application, which is not something you really want to do. Fill everything in and click Next. You are now on the final step before you submit. This is the review screen, and it shows you everything: your personal information, contact details, home address, and your employment and income all laid out in one place. Do not just scroll through this and click Next. Actually read it. Check your name, your address, your income number, everything. If anything is wrong, there are edit buttons right there. Use them. Fixing a mistake now takes 10 seconds. Fixing it after you submit it is a much bigger headache. Once everything looks right, click Next. The last screen before you submit is the terms and conditions. I know nobody loves this part, but at minimum read through the key numbers. The intro APR is 0% for the first 15 billing cycles. After that, it goes to a variable rate between 17.49 to 27.49 depending on your credit card score. There's also a penalty APR of up to 29.99% that kicks in if you miss a payment. And once it applies, it can stay there forever. That's the number you never want to see. None of this matters if you're paying your balance in full every month, but you should know it's there. Once you read through it, check the box that says you read and agree to the terms, then scroll down and hit the blue Submit Application button. And that's it. You have applied. In a lot of cases, you get an instant decision right on the screen, which is approved, with your credit limits shown right there. That's the best case, and it happens more often than people expect. Sometimes Bank of America needs a few more days to review your application. If that happens, don't panic. They will send you a letter or email within 7 to 10 business days. You can also call the reconsideration line if you want to follow up or provide any additional information. If you're approved, your card will arrive in the mail within 7 to 10 business days. Once it arrives, you will need to activate it before you can use it, which takes about 2 minutes, and I have a specific video to show you how to do it. You can go and check it out. One thing worth doing the moment you get access to your account online: go and set the autopay for at least the minimum payment. You never want to miss a payment on a new card. One missed payment can hurt your credit score and trigger that penalty APR we just talked about. Set it, forget it, and then pay the full balance manually whenever you're ready. To start from your main account screen, you need to get to the credit card you want to redeem from. Scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now you'll probably notice that I've got more than one card here: Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That is on purpose, and I will explain it in a second. For now, tap the card you want to redeem from. In my case, it's the one called Cash Rewards 2017. And quick side note, do you see how my cards have years in their name? That's me. I rename my cards based on when I open them so I can keep track of which ones has been building rewards the longest and what each one's set up for. Little habit, but when you get a few cards, it saves you a lot of confusion. You don't have to do it, but I would strongly recommend it. Okay, now you're inside the card. Right at the top you will see your current balance. Mine's at 0 because I paid this off in full, which is exactly how you want to be using these. But the rewards aren't up here. To get to them, scroll down to the bottom where you will see cash rewards and benefits. And here's something worth mentioning. Right below your rewards total, Bank of America shows you exactly what this card is earning on. Mine says 3% on gas and EV charging, 2% on groceries and wholesale clubs, and 1% on everything else. Now, this is the part most people never think about, and it's the reason I have more than one card. A single card can only cover so many categories well. This particular card is strongly on gas, so personally I use this one for gas and nothing else. My main card is set up for online purchases where it earns more. The idea is simple. You let each card do the thing it's best at, instead of putting everything on one card and earning the bare minimum 1% on most of it. That's the whole game with rewards. Match the card to the spending. Now, I'm not going to send you down the rabbit hole here, but if you take one thing from this part of the video is that don't put every purchase from one card. Look at what each of your cards earns the most on and route your spending accordingly. That alone can quietly add up over a year. Having said that, let's get back to redeeming. You can see my total available rewards is $28.32. To redeem it, tap the blue View Redeem button. On this screen, you get a few paths. There's an auto redemption, which I personally keep off, and that's just a preference. I like to actually look at what I earned and redeem it myself, so I stay aware of my own money instead of it happening on autopilot. There's also the Pay with Rewards, where you can link to Amazon or PayPal and spend your rewards there. But to redeem the cash straight into the bank, tap Redeem. Now, Bank of America asks where you want the money to go. You will see your eligible accounts, check-in, your CMA, even 529 college accounts if you got them, plus a statement credit option to put it back on a card, and a send as personal check option at the bottom. Honestly, skip the check option. It takes far longer to arrive for zero benefit when you can just drop it straight in your check-in instantly. For this video, I'm going to deposit it on my checking account, so I will select that and tap OK. Next, Bank of America asks you how much you want to redeem. You can tap Redeem All and take the whole balance or enter a custom amount. One thing to know, there is a minimum balance you need before you can redeem, and the program floor sits at $25 in rewards, so don't be surprised if a tiny balance won't let you cash out yet. Now, I've got $28.32, so I'm good. For this video, I'm only going to redeem $5 because I want to save the rest for another video. So I will type in $5 and tap OK. Now, you get the program rules, give them a quick read once, and honestly, they don't change much, but it's worth knowing the key one. All redemptions are final once proceeded, and your deposit shows up within about 5 business days. And here's the last step, which I actually like. Instead of a plain button, Bank of America makes you physically slide the amount down towards your account to confirm. It's nothing major, just a little feature, but it makes it look cool. Anyway, drag the $5 down to the checking account. That's it. You will get a green check mark. Your redemption request is confirmed with your amount, the destination, and the transaction ID. Your $5 is on its way to check-in. And that's how you redeem cash back on Bank of America credit card. To start from your main menu screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now, you probably noticed that I got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That is on purpose, but that's a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to lock. In my case, it's the one called Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, you don't have to go hunting through the menus for this. The lock control is right there below your balance. It's called Manage Lock Status, and you can see mine currently says Card Unlocked. Tap it. Now, this brings up an Are you sure screen, and I want you to actually read this one because it tells you exactly what locking does and does not. And this is the part that confuses most people. First, the headline. Any attempt to use a card tied to this account will likely be declined. That's the whole point. New purchases get stopped. But here's what most people get wrong. Locking does not freeze everything. Bank of America lists right here the activity that keeps running even while your card is locked. Your digital wallet transactions still go through. Your subscriptions, recurring charges, and automatic payments still go through. And balance transfers, direct deposit, access checks, credits, refunds, fees, claims, and reward redemptions all still go through. So read that carefully because it matters. Locking your card will not break your Netflix, your gym membership, or your electric bill on autopilot. It stops new spending, not the stuff you already set up. A lot of people avoid locking their card because they're scared it will wreck their subscriptions. It won't. Now, one more thing on the screen worth catching. If you got joint owners or authorized users on this account, locking it locks their card too. So if your spouse or your kids had a card on this account, give them a heads up before you do it, or their card's going to start getting declined and they won't know why. Now, when should you actually use this? Two everyday situations. The first is the simple one. You misplace your card. Not gone forever, just I can't find it right now. Instead of canceling the whole card and waiting a week for a replacement with a new number, which then forces you to go update every subscription tied to it, you just lock it. Card turns up in your jacket pocket, you unlock it, and done. No new card, nothing to update. But here's the important part, and I want you to really hear this. If your card is actually stolen, not misplaced, stolen, or if you're seeing charges you didn't make, do not just lock it and walk away thinking you're protected. Locking it, it's a pause button. It's not a fraud report. Stolen card or real fraud, you stop. You call Bank of America fraud department right away or report the card lost or stolen directly. That's what actually protects you and gets your money back. The lock buys you a few minutes to stop new charges, but reporting it is what handles the situation. So don't confuse the two. Having said that, if you read through all of that and you're good, tap lock card. It locks instantly. You will land right back into the credit card screen and you will see two things change. Up at the top, there's a notice that says your physical credit card is locked and cannot be used. And down on Manage Lock status, where it used to say card unlocked, it now says card locked with a red lock icon. That's your confirmation. Simple as that. Now to unlock it, it's the exact same path, just quicker. Tap Manage Lock status again and the card unlocks instantly. No warning screen this time, and you will get the notice up top confirming it's back to unlocked. And that's how you lock and unlock a credit card on the Bank of America app. 2 taps to lock, 1 to unlock, and now you actually understand what is protecting you from and the one time you need to skip the lock and call the fraud line instead. To start, from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now you'll probably notice I've got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That is on purpose, but that's a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card the charge is on. In my case, it's the one called Cash Rewards 2013. That opens the card's main screen. Scroll down past your balance and you will get to recent transactions and find the one you want to dispute. Now here's the first thing most tutorials never tell you. You can't dispute a pending transaction. While a charge is still pending, it's not final. The amount can still change or even drop off completely. So Bank of America won't let you dispute it until it settles and posts. You can see that on my screen. My top 3 charges, the 2 Walmart ones and the Dunkin' Donuts one, are all marked pending, so those are off the table for now. The one right below them, the Walmart for $47.37, is posted. So that's the one I can actually dispute. And the second thing, which is just as important, this button is for legitimate problems. A charge you didn't make, something you never received, being billed the wrong amount, a double charge, a subscription you cancelled that kept billing. It is not a button you press because you regret buying something or you just don't feel like paying. You need a real reason because disputing a charge you actually owe is a great way to get your claim denied and your time wasted. Now, full honesty, I don't actually have a problem with the Walmart charge, it's a legitimate purchase. I am just using it to walk you through the screens. I won't be submitting a real dispute against them at the end, and having said that, we can start by tap the transaction. You will land on detailed screen with all the info, the amount, the posted date, transaction date, type. Now scroll down and you will see dispute transaction. Tap it. The next screen shows you the merchant's info, their name, address, phone number, and Bank of America nudges you to contact the merchant first. Now here's my honest take here. Reaching out to the merchant yourself can sometimes resolve it faster, and it's not a bad advice. But for most people, it's a hassle. And frankly, it's not your job to chase them down. That's exactly what Bank of America dispute team is built for. They are the specialists, and if you got a legitimate reason, let them handle it. So unless you actually want to try the merchant first, tap proceed. The next screen gives you a quick rundown before you start. Read it, and when you're ready, tap continue. Now, Bank of America asks the key question: do you recognize this transaction? And you've got two paths. The first is yes, but there's a problem with the product, service, or how it was charged. That's the most common one. You bought something and something went wrong. The second is no, you don't recall giving your account info or card to the merchant. That one is fraud, and listen carefully because this matters. If that's your situation, don't just file a regular dispute and move on. Stop. Lock your card right away from inside the app and call Bank of America's fraud department directly. And no here means your card may have been compromised, and that's handled differently than a normal dispute. Don't shortcut it. For this video, I'm going with the first option. There's a problem with the product or service, because that's the situation most of you will actually be in. From here, Bank of America asks a series of narrowing questions to pin down exactly what went wrong. First, it asks whether you are billed incorrectly or there was an issue with the merchandise or service. I'll pick the merchandise or service issue, but choose what actually fits your case. And here's the thing to know, from this point on, the exact questions you get depend on the answers you give. The path branches based on your specific situation, whether you got a part of the order, none of it, whether the service was never provided, that kind of thing. So I can't show you every single screen because yours may be different from mine. Just answer each one honestly based on what actually happened to you and keep going. Along the way, you will hit a screen asking you to describe in detail what happened and what was wrong. Don't rush this one. Be specific. What you ordered, what went wrong, what you've already tried. This is the part a real human reviews, so the clearer you are, the stronger your claim. Notice it won't even let you continue until you actually written something. There's no skipping it. Once you've answered everything, you will land on the review details screen. This lays out the whole dispute in one place: the account, the reason, the merchant, the dispute amount, and the dates. Take 10 seconds and actually read it. Make sure it all lines up. If everything's correct, the final step is to tap Submit Dispute at the bottom. Now, like I said, this Walmart chart is legitimate, so I'm not going to file a real dispute for just a demo. But for you, that's the final step. Once you tap Submit Dispute, your claim is filled. After that, Bank of America investigates with the merchant and their bank. You track the whole thing in your communication inbox, and you won't be charged interest on the disputed amount while it's under review. And that's how you dispute a credit card transaction on Bank of America. Just remember the two things most people get wrong. The charge has to be posted, not pending, and you need a legitimate reason. Do it right, and the bank handles the heavy lifting from here. There are actually a few ways to pay your credit card inside the Bank of America app, and I will show you both so you can pick whichever fits. The first way starts from the bottom of your screen. Tap Pay and Transfer. On the new screen, look down at the Activities section. If your payment due date is coming up, you will see an Action Needed alert here with a Pay button right next to it. That's the fastest entry point. Tap Pay and it drops you straight into the payment screen. But heads up, this alert only shows up when you're actually close to your due date. If it's middle of your billing cycle and nothing's due soon, this section will be empty, and that's normal. Now I want to show you the way that works any time of the month, not just when the bank's reminding you. Tap Transfer at the top left. On the transfer screen, Bank of America asks you for two things: the account you are paying from and the account you are paying to. Pick your checking as the from and the credit card you want to pay as the to. In my case, I'm paying my Cash Rewards 2013 from my checking. That brings you to the Pay screen with both accounts already filled in. Right under that, you will see a toggle to make payments recurring. Now, my honest take on this: recurring payments are a geniusly great idea if you're the kind of person who forgets bills. Turn it on, set it to cover at least your minimum, maybe $50 or $100 or whatever your minimum tends to be, and you will never get hit with a late fee or a credit score hit because life got busy. Personally, I don't use it because I check my accounts a few times a day, so missing a payment isn't really something I worry about. But if you're not that person, recurring payments is a safety net. Set it once, forget it, and even if you miss the month, you still won't get hit with a late fee or a credit hit. Having said that, now you need to choose how much to pay. Tap Choose Amount. And here's where I want to slow way down, because this is the single most misunderstood screen in credit cards. You will see three options. The first is total minimum payment due, in my case $25. That's the absolute minimum Bank of America requires to keep your account in good standing. Pay just this and you won't get late fees, you don't hurt your credit, but, and this is important, you will pay interest. Everything you didn't pay off rolls over to the next month and starts accruing interest at your card's APR, which is usually somewhere around 20 to 29%. Paying just the minimum is how people end up with balances that take years to pay off. Avoid it unless you really can't afford more this month. The second option is statement balance. In my case, $176.66. This is the magic one, and almost nobody understands this correctly. The statement balance is the total of everything you spent during your last billing cycle logged in your statement's date. And here's the part I want you to really hear. If you pay your statement balance in full every month before the due date, you do not pay any interest. None. Zero. The card is free to use. A lot of people assume that if their card shows any kind of balance, that means they are carrying a balance. That's wrong. The statement balance just shows what you spent last cycle. And as long as you pay it in full by the due date, the credit card company doesn't charge you a dime in interest. Now, that 25 to 30 days window between your statement closing and your due date is called the grace period. And using it correctly is the whole game with credit cards. You spend on the card, you let the statement close, you pay the statement balance in full, you collect your rewards. Zero interest, ever. The third option is current balance. In my case, $2,508.89. This is everything you owe right now, including charges from the current cycle that haven't even hit the statement yet. You don't need to pay this. It's not late, it's not due. Some people like paying the current balance just to keep their reported credit utilization low, which can help your credit score a bit, but for most people, paying the statement balance is the right move. There's also other amount option if you want to type in a custom number. For this video, I'll just pay $25 because I actually pay my card on the last day of every month, no matter what's it owed. It's a mental thing that helps me keep track of my spending month by month. Not a financial advice, just how I do it. So I'll pick the amount and tap Save. That brings you back to the pay screen, where you choose your date. You can either pay today or schedule for a future day. When you're ready, tap Next. You will land on the Review Payment Details screen. Take 10 seconds and actually read this. Confirm the To account, the From account, the amount, and the date. Bank of America also includes a useful note here. Any payment scheduled before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time on a given day gets credited as of the date, even if it doesn't appear in your account immediately. Good thing to know if you're cutting it close to the due date. If everything looks right, tap Pay, and that's it. You will get a success screen with a green check mark. Your payment is confirmed. All your details and a confirmation number. Tap Done. Now, real quick, the second way to pay it is even simpler. From your main account screen, just tap the credit card you want to pay. That takes you straight into the card screen and you will see a blue Pay button right under your balance. Tap it and you are on the exact same pay flow I just walked you through. Same amount, option, same date picker, same review screen. So whichever path you start from, the actual payment process is identical. And that's how you make a credit card payment on Bank of America. Two paths onto the same place. Just remember the one rule that matters more than anything else. Pay your statement balance in full every month before the due date. And your credit card costs you nothing in interest, ever. To start from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now you'll probably notice that I've got more than one cards here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That is on purpose, but that's a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to set Autopay for. In my case, that's Cash Rewards 2013. Once you're inside the card, you will see your balance and a blue Pay button right under it. Tap it. On the new screen, the To field is already filled in with the card you're paying. Under that, From. Pick the account the payments will pull from. In my case, that's my check-in. Now here's where you turn this from a one-time payment into Autopay. Toggle on Make Payments Recurring. The moment you flip that, the screen changes. Bank of America now treats this as a recurring setup, and you will see a frequency option appear below. But first, tap Amount. Now I want you to slow down on this screen because Autopay gives you two amount choices, and the one you pick is the difference between paying interest every month or paying none at all. The first option is total minimum payment due, with an option to pay extra. This is the minimum Bank of America requires to keep your account in good standing. Pay just this on Autopay and you will never hit with a late fee, you will never hurt your credit, but you will pay interest. Everything you didn't pay off rolls over and starts accruing at your card's APR, which usually is somewhere between 20 to 29%. That's the trap most people fall into with Autopay. They set it to minimum, feel like they've got it handled, and then wonder why their balance creeps up month after month. The second option is statement balance. This is the total of what you spent during your last billing cycle. And here's the part that matters. If Autopay covers your statement balance in full every month, you pay zero interest, none. The card is actually free to use. That window between your statement closing and the due date is called the grace period, and paying the statement balance is how you use it correctly. For Autopay, statement balance is almost always the right answer. And that's exactly what I'm picking here. Set it once, and every month Bank of America automatically pulls whatever you spent last cycle, your card stays at zero interest forever, and you collect your rewards. That's the whole game. One quick thing to make sure of though, only set this up if you know your checking account will actually have enough in it each month to cover the statement balance. If your spending varies a lot and your checking gets tight, Autopay can overdraft you. So pick statement balance only if you really live within what you're charged. Pick your amount and tap save. Now you'll be back to the pay screen and you will see the frequency option. Tap it. This screen asks when in the month you would like to pay. You got two choices, on due date, which in my case is the second, or before due date. If you pick before due date, a new option opens up letting you choose how many days early. You can go all the way up to 24 days early, which honestly makes no sense to me personally, because at that point you're basically paying twice a month for no reason. I would just do 2 days early to be safe. That way, if your bank does anything weird with processing times, your payment still clears before the due date. And just so you know, paying on the actual due date is also totally fine and won't get you in trouble. 2 days early is just a small buffer for peace of mind. Pick your option and tap save. Now one last step. When do you want to start paying? You're choosing between starting this Autopay with your current bill or your next bill. Now I'm going to pick next bill because that gives me more time to look over the setup before money actually starts moving automatically. Tap next and that takes you to the review recurring payment screen. This is your final check. The to account, the from account, the amount, the frequency, and the start date. Read it carefully because once Autopay is on, it just runs. Now, for me, everything looks fine. At the bottom, there's a checkbox. I understand that by scheduling this payment, I agree to and acknowledge these terms. Tap that to confirm and then tap schedule. And that's it. Autopay is now set. Every month from here on out, Bank of America will pull your statement balance from your check-in and pay your card in full. No late fees, no interest, no thinking about it. The card becomes a tool that just works in the background. To start from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now you probably notice I've got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That's on purpose. That's a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to increase the credit limit on. In my case, that will be the Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, scroll down past your balance, past the lock status, past the payment info, until you get to the credit line section. You will see your available credit, your cash credit line, and your total credit line. Mine is at $5,000. Right under that, you will see an option that says credit card line increase. Tap it. That takes you to a request form. Now, before we fill it in, I want to slow down here because this is the part most tutorials gloss over and it really matters. Bank of America right at the top tells you what you're authorizing them to do. You are giving them permission to obtain a copy of your credit report, review your credit and employment history, and use that information to make a decision. Read this carefully because depending on how Bank of America processes your request, this could result in a hard inquiry on your credit report or just a soft pull. Now let me explain the difference because it's the difference between a request that costs you nothing and the one that knocks 5 to 10 points of your credit score for a year. A soft pull is when Bank of America checks your credit internally without it being recorded as a formal inquiry. It does not affect your credit score at all and you can do it as often as you want. A hard pull, on the other hand, gets logged on your credit report, hangs around for 2 years and typically drops your score by a few points. It's the same kind of inquiry that happens when you apply for a new card or a loan. Now here's the honest reality on Bank of America in particular. Most online credit limit increase requests through the app are processed as soft pulls, which is great. But Bank of America still keeps language in their disclosure allowing for a hard pull in certain cases. For example, if you're asking for a really aggressive increase or if your account history triggers a deeper manual review. So while soft is the most common outcome, it is not guaranteed. 2 things I would recommend before you submit. First, if you have the option request a reasonable increase, not a huge one. Asking for a 30 to 50% pump from your current credit limit is much more likely to stay a soft pull than asking to triple it. Second, if Bank of America is going to do a hard pull, they're generally required to disclose it before pulling. So watch for any extra warning screens before you tap submit, and if one appears, you can back out without your credit being affected. With that out of the way, let's go through the form. You will see your current total credit line minus $5,000. Right under that is the field for total credit line request. For this video, I'm going to type in $7,500, which is a 50% increase. Bank of America will round this to the nearest 100, so you don't need to worry about exact numbers here. Scroll down and you will fill out the rest of the form. First, your occupation. Pick from the drop-down what best describes what you do. Next is your total gross annual income. This is what you earn before taxes: salary, wages, overtime, bonuses, interest, dividends, rental income, whatever. And the one thing worth knowing, you can also include reasonably accessible income from others, like a spouse income that you have access to for paying bills. Bank of America is required to ask, but you're allowed to count the full household picture if it applies. Just be honest, because if they ask for verification later and the numbers don't line up, the request gets denied. Below that is the frequency: yearly, monthly, whatever fits. Pick yearly if you're entering your annual number. Then source of income. Pick what applies from the drop-down. And last, housing payments type and housing payments per month. This is your rent or mortgage. They're using this along with your income to estimate your debt to income ratio, which is one of the main things they're checking. Now, once everything is filled in, scroll all the way to the bottom. You will see a paragraph telling you something else important. If you have other credit card accounts with Bank of America, they may move credit from one account to another instead of giving you a brand new amount of credit. So it's possible to get your increase approved without your total credit across Bank of America actually going in. Just something to be aware of. When you're ready, tap submit. After you submit, here's what to expect. A lot of the time, Bank of America responds instantly. You will get a decision right there on your screen, either approved, partially approved at a smaller amount than you asked for, or denied. If it needs manual review, it can take anywhere from a few minutes to about 7 to 10 business days, and you will get the answer in your communication inbox inside the app and usually by mail. If you get approved, the new limit kicks in right away. If you get denied, Bank of America is required by law to send you a letter explaining why, which is actually useful. It tells you exactly what to fix before trying again. And if you do get denied, don't request another increase right after. Wait at least 6 months, work on whatever they flagged, and try again then. And that's how you request a credit line increase on Bank of America. Just remember the one thing that matters more than anything else. Ask for a reasonable amount, watch for any hard pull warnings before you hit submit, and you'll usually walk away with a higher limit and no damage to your credit. The first step is setting a PIN on your card, because without one, no ATM is going to give you anything. So that's where we start. From your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now, you'll probably notice that I've got more than one card here: Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That's on purpose, but that is a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to create a PIN for. In my case, that's the Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, scroll all the way down past your balance, past your log status, past the payment info until you get to the card management section. In there, you will see a few options: change PIN, send PIN by US mail, and replace credit card. Tap change PIN. Now, before I show you the next screen, let me actually explain why would you want a PIN on a credit card, because most people have no idea that it's even an option. Most credit cards in the US don't come with a PIN by default. You swipe or tap, you sign or use your phone, and that's it. But setting a PIN unlocks a few things you can't do otherwise. The first one is cash advances. With a PIN, you can walk up to an ATM and pull cash directly off your credit card, just like a debit card. Now, I want to really be honest with you about this. Cash advances are one of the most expensive things you can do on a credit card. They usually charge a fee of 3 to 5% of the amount. The APR is higher than your regular purchase APR, often around 25 to 30%. And unlike purchases, there's no grace period. Interest starts accruing the second the cash hits your hand. So setting up a PIN gives you that option, but use it only for real emergencies. The second reason, and this is the one most people don't think about, is international travel. A lot of countries, especially in Europe, use what's called chip and PIN at terminals. Unmanned terminals like gas station pumps, train ticket machines, parking meters, and toll booths often won't accept your card without a PIN. You could have $10,000 credit limit and still get stuck at a French gas pump at midnight because you don't have a PIN. So if you travel internationally, this is really useful. And the third reason is just security. If your physical card ever gets used in a situation where a PIN is required, that PIN is one more barrier between a thief and your money. Having said all that, let's set your PIN. You will land on the Change PIN screen. Right at the top, it confirms which card you're setting this up for. Mine shows the last 4 digits, which is 0371. Below that, Bank of America tells you exactly what's about to happen. Your new 4-digit PIN will become effective immediately, and your old PIN, if you had one, won't work anymore. There's also a small note that if you already know your PIN and you just need to unlock it because you got it wrong too many times at an ATM, you enter your current PIN as if it's a new one and it will get unlocked. It's useful to know if that happens to you. Now into the fields. Enter a new PIN, 4 digits, and a quick honest tip on this, because people get lazy with PINs. Don't use 1234, don't use 0000, don't use your birth year, don't use the last 4 digits of your social security number either. Those are the first thing a thief tries. Well, if he knows your social security, of course. Pick 4 digits that means something to you but aren't tied to obvious public information about you. Then re-enter the same PIN in the second field to confirm it. Once both match, tap Change PIN at the bottom, and that's it. Your PIN is set, effective immediately. From now on, your card works the same way it always did for normal purchases, like tap, swipe, and online purchases. None of that needs a PIN. But now you've also unlocked the ability to use it at ATMs for cash advances and at chip and PIN terminals when you travel. Nothing about your day-to-day spending changes. You just have more options when you need them. One last thing, write the PIN down somewhere safe or store it in a password manager. Do not save it in a note in your phone called credit card PIN. That's the digital equivalent of leaving your house key under the doormat. And obviously, never write it on the card itself. Trust me, I've seen it happen too many times. If you ever forget your PIN, you come right back to the same screen and set a new one. No phone calls, no paperwork. Or if you'd rather have Bank of America mail it to you, that send PIN by US mail option is the one right below it in the card management. And that's how you create or change a PIN on Bank of America credit card. To start, from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now, you will probably notice that I've got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That's on purpose, but that is a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to add to Autopay. In my case, that's the Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, scroll all the way down, past your balance, past the lock status, past the payments info, post card manager, until you reach a section called Digital Wallets. In there, you will see Add Cards to Apple Wallet right at the top. Tap it. Now you will land on a Verify screen. Bank of America already knows the last 4 digits of your card. Mine shows 0371, by the way. But to confirm it's really you, they need 2 pieces of info. You'd only have it if you physically have the card. Those are the expiration date and the security code. Tap card expiration date and enter it. Then tap card security code and enter the 3-digit code on the back of the card. And quick note here, this is exactly the kind of step you want your bank to require. It's the reason Apple Pay is actually safer than handing your physical card to a cashier, because nobody can add your card to their own phone without literally having the physical card in their hand. So slow down and appreciate this step rather than rushing through it. Once both fields are filled in, tap Verify. Now you will get a pop-up that says you are about to connect with Apple Wallet, not operated by Bank of America. That's just Bank of America being legally clear that they are handing you off to Apple. Your card stays with Bank of America, but the wallet itself lives on your phone. Tap Yes. On the next screen, Apple asks where would you like to add the card. You will see iPhone, and if you have an Apple Watch paired, that will show up too. The process is identical for both, and honestly, if you have an Apple Watch, I'd recommend adding it to both, because paying with your watch at the checkout line is one of those little conveniences you don't appreciate until you have it. And it's huge in Europe, by the way, not so much in the US, but Europe is always using their Apple Watches for everything. Anyway, for this video, I'll just do the iPhone, so tap iPhone. The next screen is the Add Card screen, which is now run by Apple, not Bank of America. It shows your name and the last 4 digits of the card to confirm what's being added. Read it, make sure everything checks out, and tap Continue. Below the card info, Apple shows you a notice about what gets served. Card-related info, location, and device usage patterns may send to Apple and shared with Bank of America. That's how they verify it's really you setting this up, and also how Apple Pay flags suspicious behavior down the road. If you want the full breakdown, tap See how your data is managed. Tap Continue. Next up is Terms and Conditions. This is the actual Bank of America agreement that governs how the card works inside the wallet. Things like how text verification is handled, what happens if your phone is off when they try to reach you, and how location data may be shared. Honestly, the practical takeaway is just that adding your card to a digital wallet doesn't change your underlying card agreement. Your APR, reward, fees, all of that stays the same. So give it a read if you want, and when you're ready, tap Agree at the bottom right. Now wait about 15 to 20 seconds while Apple and Bank of America do their verification handshake in the background. Don't close the app or hit the back button. Let it finish. Once it's done, you will see a blue check mark confirming the card was added successfully. Right after that, Apple asks if you want to set as default card in wallet. This is the card that gets picked automatically anytime you double click to pay without you having to choose. Now, quick honest take on this. If this is the card you swipe the most or the one with the best rewards on everyday purchases, set it as your default. That way you don't have to think about it as a checkout. If it's a card you only use for specific things like travel card you use abroad, pick Not Now and keep your everyday card as a default. You can always change this later in the wallet app settings. Either way, your card is now officially in Apple Pay, ready to use anywhere that takes tap to pay. Now real quick, 2 honest takes before I wrap up. First, Apple Pay is really more secure than swiping or tapping your physical card. When you pay with Apple Pay, your real card number never gets shared with a merchant. Apple gives them a one-time code instead, so even if their system gets hacked, your actual card number isn't sitting in their database. And second, using Apple Pay doesn't change your rewards. You still earn the same cashback, the same points, the same bonuses on bonus categories. The card behind the scenes is still your Bank of America card doing all the same things. Apple Pay is just the way you swipe. So set it up once, and from here on out, you can leave your physical card at home and pay with just your phone or watch. To start, from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now, you will probably notice that I've got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That's on purpose, but that is a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to add to Apple Pay. In my case, that's the Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, scroll all the way down, past your balance, past the lock status, past the payments info, post Card Manager, until you reach a section called Digital Wallets. In there, you will see Add Cards to Apple Wallet right at the top. Tap it. Now you will land on a Verify screen. Bank of America already knows the last 4 digits of your card. Mine shows 0371, by the way. But to confirm it's really you, they need 2 pieces of info. You would only have it if you physically have the card. Those are the expiration date and the security code. Tap card expiration date and enter it. Then tap card security code and enter the 3-digit code on the back of the card. And quick note here, this is exactly the kind of step you want your bank to require. It's the reason Apple Pay is actually safer than handing your physical card to a cashier, because nobody can add your card to their own phone without literally having the physical card in their hand. So slow down and appreciate this step rather than rushing through it. Once both fields are filled in, tap Verify. Now you will get a pop-up that says you are about to connect with Apple Wallet, not operated by Bank of America. That's just Bank of America being legally clear that they are handing you off to Apple. Your card stays with Bank of America, but the wallet itself lives on your phone. Tap Yes. On the next screen, Apple asks where would you like to add the card. You will see iPhone, and if you have an Apple Watch paired, that will show up too. The process is identical for both. For this video, I'll do the Apple Watch, so tap Apple Watch. Next screen is the Add Card screen, which is now run by Apple, not Bank of America. It shows your name and the last 4 digits of the card to confirm what's being added. Read it, make sure everything checks out, and tap Continue. Below the card info, Apple shows you a notice about what gets served. Card-related info, location, and device usage patterns may send to Apple and shared with Bank of America. That's how they verify it's really you setting this up, and also how Apple Pay flags suspicious behavior down the road. If you want the full breakdown, tap See how your data is managed. Tap continue. Next up is terms and conditions. This is the actual Bank of America agreement that governs how the card works inside the wallet. Things like how text verification is handled, what happens if your phone is off when they try to reach you, and how location data may be shared. Honestly, the practical takeaway is just that adding your card to a digital wallet doesn't change your underlying card agreement. Your APR, reward, fees, all of that stays the same. So give it a read if you want, and when you're ready, tap agree at the bottom right. Now wait about 15 to 20 seconds while Apple and Bank of America do their verification handshake. Don't close the app, just let it finish. When it's done, you will see a blue check mark confirming the card was added successfully. You will also typically get a small notification on your watch itself confirming the card is now available in the wallet app. And one thing to know that's specific to the watch flow, Apple doesn't ask you to set this as your default card on the watch. That's because your watch automatically uses whichever card you set as default in your iPhone's wallet setting. So if you want a specific card to be the one your watch grabs by default at the checkout, set that in a wallet on the iPhone and the watch follows. That's it. Your card is now your Apple Watch. Now, real quick, 2 honest takes before I wrap up, because the watch is actually where Apple Pay really earns its keep. First, paying with your watch is the most convenient version of contactless payment by a wide margin. No reaching for your phone, no reaching for your wallet, no unlocking anything. Double click the side button, hold your wrist near the reader, and done. Once you paid for a coffee or groceries this way, it's hard to go back. It also means you can leave your phone and wallet at home for a quick run, a gym session, or a walk, and still actually pay for things. Second, using Apple Pay on the watch doesn't change your rewards. Cashback, points, bonus categories, all of it still earns exactly the same. The watch is just the way you swipe. So set it up once, and from here on out, your wrist is your wallet. To start, from your main account screen, look at the top left and tap the menu icon. It's 3 lines. On the menu screen, locate the Manage a Debit Card. Tap it. Now you land on the Manage Card screen. By default, Bank of America usually shows you your debit or ATM card first. Mine's showing my ATM card, by the way. That's not the card we want, but switching is easy. Look at the top right, you will see a blue Change button. Tap it. That opens up the list of all your cards. Find a new credit card you just got in the mail, the one you're trying to activate. In my case, that's a customized cash rewards Visa signature ending in 4578. Tap to select it and then confirm. Now you are on the credit card's Manage Card screen. You will see the card image, and right below it you will see 3 options: lock, activate, and replace. The activate button only shows up when you've got a card waiting to be activated. So if you don't see it in yours, that just means the card's already active. And one quick honest thing to know before you tap it. Once you activate this card, 2 things happen instantly. The card itself becomes live and ready to use anywhere. And if you had an old, expiring version of the same card, that old card is now dead. So if you got any subscription or recurring charges still tied to the old card number, Netflix, your gym, your phone bill, anything on Autopay, you will need to update them to the new card number after this, because they will start failing on the next billing cycle. It's worth grabbing a quick mental list of those before you tap. Okay, when you're ready, tap activate. That's it. You will see a confirmation up top. Your credit card has been successfully activated. And the activate button is now gone, replaced by change PIN. The card is live, ready to swipe, tap, or use online right now. To start, from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Now you probably noticed that I've got more than one card here. Cash Rewards 2013, Cash Rewards 2017, Travel Rewards, and a few others. That's on purpose, but that's a topic for another video. For now, just tap the card you want to change the category on. In my case, that's the Cash Rewards 2017. Once you're inside the card, scroll down to the Cash Rewards and Benefits section. Right at the top of that section, you can see what you're currently earning on. For me, it's 3% on gas and EV charging stations, 2% on grocery stores and wholesale clubs, and 1% on everything else. That gas category is the choice category, and that's the one we can swap. Tap View/Redeem. On the rewards summary screen, scroll down and you will see View/Change choice category. Tap that. Now this is the screen where Bank of America does something really useful that almost nobody notices. Instead of just listing the categories and making you guess which one to pick, they actually show you how much you've spent in each category on this card. By default, it shows you the last calendar month. You can see mine: $112 in online shopping, $19 in dining, $20 at drugstore, and 30 in home improvement. That's a decent snapshot, but honestly 1 month isn't enough to make a good decision because spending fluctuates a lot month to month. Here's the trick. Tap last calendar month at the top and you can switch it to the last 12 months. Now I get a real picture. Over the last year I spent $4,700 on online shopping, $34 on gas, $22 on home improvements, almost $1,000 on travel, and $870 on dining, and $345 at drugstores. With that view, the choice almost makes itself. Online shopping is my biggest category by a mile, so that's what this card 3% is set to. This is the move I want you to make on your own card. Don't pick the category based on what you think you spend money on, pick it based on what the actual 12 months data says. People are bad at guessing this. They'll set it to dining because they feel like they eat out a lot. Then they look back and realize they spent triple on gas. Let the numbers tell you. A quick tip if you got more than one cash rewards card, and this is what I do. Set each card to a different category. So one card runs 3% on online shopping, another one runs 3% on gas, and another on dining. Then I just pull the right card for the right purchase. That's how you stack rewards instead of leaving them on the table. Okay, when you've decided, scroll to the category you want and tap it. In my case, I'm changing to gas and EV charging stations. Now, this is where you need to pay attention because Bank of America pops up a confirmation screen with a piece of information most cardholders never know exists. It says, you've reached the maximum $2,500 in combined grocery store, wholesale club, and choice category purchase this quarter. Let me translate that, because that is the most important sentence in the whole video. Bank of America caps your bonus cash back, your 3% choice category and your 2% grocery and wholesale category share in a single combined limit of $2,500 in spending per quarter. So every dollar you spend in those buckets adds up against the same $2,500 cap. Once you hit it, you stop earning 3 or 2% and you drop down to 1% on those categories until the next quarter starts. So if you're someone who spends $1,000 a month on groceries plus another $800 on gas, you're going to hit that cap by month 2 or 3 of the quarter and you will earn 1% on the rest. It's worth knowing before you build your whole strategy around the 3% category. Now, once you absorb that, if you still want to make the change, tap yes. Bank of America will tell you exactly when the new category kicks in. Mine starts on May 27, 26, by the way, and your card is now set to the new bonus category. A couple things to know about timing. First, you can only change your choice category once per calendar month, so pick carefully. Second, the change takes effect right away on new purchases. There's no waiting period. And third, if you ever forget that your category is set to, just come back to the same screen and the current one will be shown at the top. And that's how you change your 3% cashback category on a Bank of America Cash Rewards card. 2 things to remember. Let the 12-month spending data pick the category for you instead of guessing, and watch the $2,500 category cap so you know exactly how much your 3% is actually worth. To start, from your main account screen, scroll down past your banking accounts until you hit the credit card section. Tap on any of the credit cards. In my case, I will tap the Cash Rewards 2017. That opens the card's main screen. Scroll down until you reach the Bank of America section, and in there you will see View Your FICO Score. Tap it. Now, before we get into the score itself, let me explain what FICO actually is, because many people use the term without really knowing what it means. FICO is a credit scoring company. They invented the most widely used credit score in the country, and when most people say credit score, they're talking about a FICO score. It's a number between 300 and 850 that lenders look at to decide how risky it would be to lend you money. The higher the number, the better. And one really important thing to know, Bank of America gives you this score for free every month with no impact to your credit. Checking your own score does not hurt it. That's a myth. The only kind of credit check that affects your score is what's called a hard inquiry. That's when a lender pulls your credit to approve a new loan or credit card. Looking at your own score is a soft inquiry and you can do it as often as you want. Having said all that, please go ahead and tap it, but give it a second to load. Bank of America will show you a welcome screen the first time called My Credit, with a quick intro about the tools available. Tap next through the welcome, and now you're on the snapshot page, which is the right on the top. You can see your latest FICO score. Mine's at 843, which falls in the exceptional range. The scale Bank of America uses the standard FICO range, 300 to 850, and the levels go roughly like this. Anything below 580 is poor, 580 to 669 is fair, 670 to 739 is good, 740 to 799 is very good, and 800 and up is exceptional. Honestly, anything above 740 generally qualifies you for the best rates on mortgages, auto loans, and pretty much anything else you want to borrow for. Right below your score, Bank of America tells you exactly what data this is based on. For me, it says FICO score 8 based on Experian data of May 9, 2026. That's worth explaining because here's the thing that catches most people off guard. You do not have one credit score, you have many. There are 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and they each maintain their own version of your credit file. There are also multiple versions of your FICO score itself, FICO 8, FICO 9, FICO Auto Score, FICO Bank Card Score, each tuned for a different kind of lending decision. Bank of America shows you FICO score 8 from Experian. That's a great snapshot, but if you go to apply for a mortgage tomorrow, the lender might pull a different version of FICO from a different bureau, and the number could be 20 or 30 points different from what you see here. So the score in this app is real and accurate, just understand it's one of many. Don't be shocked if your lender's number doesn't match it exactly. There's also a refresh link near the top. You can update your score up to 3 times every 30 days, which is really useful if you just got paid down a big balance or had something change, or you want to see if it moved a needle. Keep scrolling and you will get to the most useful section of this whole feature. What's impacting your score? This is where Bank of America breaks down the 5 factors that go into your FICO score and tells you how you're doing on each one. These are the factors: payment history, that's whether you pay your bills on time, amounts owed, your total outstanding debt, which mostly means how much of your available credit you're using, lengths of credit history, how long you've had credit account, new credit, how recently you applied or opened new accounts, and credit mix, whether you have a healthy variety of credit types like card plus a loan, not just one kind. These aren't the most important factors, these are the only factors. Every point on your FICO score comes from these 5 buckets, and the weight goes roughly like this. Payment history is around 35% of the score, amounts owed is around 30%, lengths of history is about 15%, new credit is about 10%, and credit mix is about 10% as well. You can see that Bank of America rates me on each one. Everything looks good except new credit, which is fair. So my weak spot is new credit, meaning I've opened something recently that the model is still adjusting to. That's normal and it will prove on its own as the account ages. This is the section worth coming back to every month. If your score drops, this tells you exactly which factor changed. If you're trying to build credit, this tells you what to focus on. It's basically a free report card. And if you want to go even deeper, tap View All Score Factors at the bottom of the full breakdown. There's also a Score Details tab and an Identity Monitoring tab at the top of the page, which are both worth exploring. Identity monitoring is is a free perk most people don't realize they have. That's how you check your credit score with Bank of America. Free every month, no impact to your credit, and now you actually understand what the number means. You now know how to use your Bank of America credit card the right way, and most people who get a card never get this far, because they don't need more perks, they need to actually use the card without losing money to interest, fees, and mistakes, and now you can. If this video helped you, share it with someone who needs it, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I read every single one of them. I'll see you in the next one.